Good night. Welcome to Teleislas News with the most important information of the day. Carolina, through a communique and a statement, has announced that it is not being authorized or granted a license, permit, or environmental feasibility for paving the Duppy Gully Road. Here is the news.
This authority, environmental authority, didn't give no permission to pave no roads in Duppy Gully. In the 2000, they asked for information regarding the general pavimentation, the tramit that you need for general pavimentation, and it was an administrative answer. But that not give no permission, that not give no viability, and no license to pave in Duppy Gully.
The Environmental Corporation clarifies to the public opinion that contrary to speculation through social networks regarding the paving work project, the entity has not authorized or granted license or permission nor environmental viability for the pavement of the Duppy Gully Road in the framework of the project of improvement and rehabilitation of virgin concrete of rural roads prioritized in the road plan of Four Corner Pepper Hill Section 1, Duppy Gully and Orange Hill on the island of St. Andrews.
You will have a link that the action and the steps that Carolina have been doing regarding this project. Letter sent to the constructors explaining to them that in the management plan, the ordering plan of this watershed and the territorial ordering plan, is not permitted to pave and to construct new roads in the valley, in Cove Valley. So you can be have the tranquility that you all know when have problem with this collective rights and that environmental, the aquifer know and be in danger with this pave.
The Environmental Corporation recalls that within its mission, it must manage, project, and recover the department's environment through the application of appropriate technologies aimed at understanding the supply and demand of renewable natural resources, promoting sustainable human development and involving the community so that in concerted and participatory manner, the quality of life in the region is improved.
The departmental government, through the Secretariat of Social Development, developed a training program to strengthen the RISAL organizations of Insular Department, promoted under the framework of the policy Integral Support for the Cultural and Socioeconomic Development of RISAL People. Officials from SENA, the community, and RISAL organizations, as well as the departmental administration personnel, attended this event.
A training to strengthen the economy and cultural development through the institutional offer of the Ministry and the SENA for RISAL organizations was held in the morning hours in the Walwyn Peterson Auditorium of the Governor's Office. The coordinator of the RISAL Public Policy of the Secretariat of Social Development gave the details.
En la mañana de hoy vamos a estar presentando.
This morning we were presenting the institutional offer for RISAL organizations that the Ministry of Interior and SENA have. In this way, we will be fulfilling in coordination with these institutions the goal of strengthening the organizations. This morning, RISAL leaders, people interested in knowing the offer of the institutions, and members of the RISAL organizations are invited. The main topics are the projects that are available in these institutions to which they can have access.
The meeting was held from 8 a.m. to 12 noon, where attendees were able to resolve their doubts about the opportunities that the RISAL community has in the National Development Plan.
And in response to the scuffle recorded in social networks where two students of the Bolivariano school attack each other with knives, the Secretary of Education makes a statement about the incident.
Faced with the facts recorded in a video circulating on social networks where two students of the Bolivariano school are involved, of the event and indicated that the attention route has already been activated with the School Coexistence Committee of the institution to prevent this type of situation from continuing to occur.
Que cada institución educativa cuenta con un comité.
Each educational institution has a school coexistence committee. According to the actions and situations, this committee meets with the Secretary of Education and makes decisions about what happened based on the coexistence manual. All the institutions have their coexistence manuals, and in fact, this year we are in the process of revising these manuals. Actions have already been taken on this situation. Immediately we were able to identify those involved, and it is important to highlight that the schools, with the support of the Education Secretariat, have a departmental committee for school coexistence which will meet in the next few days to analyze the situation. In particular, with the students of the Bolivariano School, taking into account that the school year is almost over, the decision was made that these girls will do academic work at home. The guardians, in this case the mothers, will be in charge of going to the institution to receive the study guides.
The head of the Educational Office, Lucila Morelos, said that during the next departmental committee on school coexistence, an action plan will be drawn up to help prevent incidents like these from happening again.
And after acts of violence and intolerance in official educational institutions recorded and dismantled by social networks and instant messages, the ICBF proposes some reasons and solutions of the phenomenon presented currently among the youth of the island.
Events that concern the community, families, and institutions are those that have been occurring with young people in some educational institutions of the island of San Andres. The fight between young people have become a habit, and more it is evidenced and recorded in images and videos the intolerance of students in school who have lost the ability to communicate respectfully and resolve conflict through dialogue, and which instead opt for physical violence. A recent image, a fight between uniformed minors, was recorded on a public road on the island. In the video, you can see the knife with which the girls were threatening each other. What is the cause of this phenomena?
La verdad es que estamos viendo el
The truth is that we are living what we as a society have sown. When society is talking about family, about institutions, it is talking about community. I believe that there is a more liberal perspective and a condemnation towards all the disciplinary forms that were previously applied. Today, we are noticing very permissive parentings and families believing that it is the sign of love and affection. We are forgetting to raise our young people with the ability to control emotions. That's why we are seeing things like suicide, depression, and intolerance.
According to Freddie Bowie, as a society, we need to work together to support young people.
No es como alguien dijo o cierta.
It's not like someone said, it's wasted time. It's not wasted time. When the community, society, family, and institutions move towards the same purpose, we could see a changed youth.
And as a result of the fights that have occurred in recent days in educational institutions, Teleislas News inquired with the community regarding this situation, which agrees that this is due to the lack of authority in homes in many cases.
Knife fights in educational institutions where minors are the protagonists of these events set off alarms among the community in general. These disputes are very frequent at the time of students' dismissal from school, which have been recorded in videos circulating on social networks. After these violent events, Teleislas News inquired with some inhabitants of the islands who give their point of view.
It is depressing, very depressing, because in the schools there must be support from the police. There are a lot of problems with underage kids, and the truth is that I think it is sad because young people are not thinking about the consequences, and we, their mothers at home, are not realizing that the kids are going out with knives and are very aggressive. The idea is to make a call to the police colonel to put a kite outside the institution.
I want to see the government them try to do something with the young people them, far because them is out of hand bad and doing things what they're not supposed to do.
It is very wrong. That behavior comes from home. The education given at home has a lot of influence. It is very wrong that those girls are fighting outside the schools. I think that's very ugly. Teachers should do something. None of them went out when those girls were fighting. It looked like a party. We have to pray to God a lot for this situation to improve. And we parents should be more temperate with our children in order to improve education.
For the inhabitants of the island, it is important that the authorities in the department propose solutions that contribute to improve the behavior of minors and thus avoid that these acts of aggression continue to be a constant.
21 directors of teaching and learning from different educational institutions of the island participate in the 19th national meeting of lead teachers in order to update in educational issues.
In order to seek to update the different educational institutions, 21 teachers from the department participate in a national meeting where the main theme is the pedagogical reconstruction of schools in Colombia, an unpostponable task for teachers and directors of teaching and learning, which takes place in the city of Valledupar.
San Andres directors of teaching and learning are participating in the city of Valledupar on November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the 19th meeting of directors of teaching and learning. This year, the theme is the pedagogical reconstruction of the school in Colombia, an unpostponable task for teachers and directors of teaching and learning. We will have a speaker of national and international stature such as Liz Leon, Julian Samper, Miguel Angel Santos Guerras, Mariano Bosque.
To promote spaces for participation, reflection, and debate are the general objectives of the national meeting of teachers and school directors of teaching and learning.
It is a very important space for directors of teaching and learning. In these, we can update what we do in our educational institutions.
For island teachers, it is important to prepare themselves and thus be able to provide spaces for participation that help them to improve public education in order to help in the construction of public schools that respond to the real needs and interests of children and adolescents in the present time.
In other news, the Secretary of Public Services continues with the collection days and routes of white line waste and others on the island. This is this week's agenda.
Taking into account the waste collection schedule for the month of November, the coordinator of Recuperaciones Naranjo Recycling SAS indicated that special routes and days are being carried out in different sectors of the island. He also knows what will be the agenda for the first days of this month for the collection and proper management of special waste disposed of in San Andres.
In this month of November, we continue with our routes and cleaning dates. Today, Wednesday, we are on a special cleaning day in the San Luis neighborhood, from the Estrella del Mar Church to France Bar. Tomorrow, in the sector parallel to the airfield, Cerebie, Carbanias, and Red Ground. On Friday, we will resume with a special day in the neighborhood of Los Laureles and a route in Guineahen and the road parallel to the airfield from Schoolhouse to the head of the airfield. Again, we will have a special day on Tuesday in the neighborhood of Los Corrales and in the sector of San Luis.
The community is reminded that the collection schedule is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Likewise, the operator of Recuperaciones Naranjo Recycling SAS recommends users to dispose of their waste, making sure to follow the schedule itinerary, which can be found on the social networks of the departmental government.
8:37 minutes, time for the news of the municipality of Old Providence and Santa Catalina with Millicent O'Neill.
Good evening to all our viewers. This is the most relevant information from Old Providence and Catalina. Today, sentence T333 was announced. It was issued by the 7th Chamber of the Constitutional Court, where it revokes the sentence issued by the court and the Superior Court in 2021 and grants the protection of the fundamental rights of Josefina Huffington and the Rizal people regarding the reconstruction.
The Constitutional Court decided to protect the fundamental rights to health, drinking water, basic sanitation, and healthy environment of the Raisal people. Tax 1 Action for Rights Protection filed in December 2020 by Josefina Huffington. The sentence dictates 20 points that have to do with health service and supplies, drinking water, and basic sanitation, among others.
The Constitutional Court of Colombia has ruled in law while the control organisms in San Andres, that is to say the court and the tribunal, denied the tutela. Finally, we had to take it to the Constitutional Court, and the meticulous work that they have done in that tutela, I applaud it, and I am satisfied, but I will be completely satisfied when the sentence promulgated by the court has been complied with.
The sentence also ordered the definitive closure and restoration of the debris stockpiles, in addition to calling for a participatory, informed, and good faith intercultural dialogue.
It orders the community to gather around a prior consultation because there was none. And precisely if there had been, there would have been a follow-up by the Raisal community. But they did not do it, so the results for many people have been very bad.
The ruling must be translated into Creole and read in a public space. Its fulfillment will be accompanied by the Attorney General's office.
When the meetings ordered by the sentence come around, all the Raisal people that have had shortcomings in the reconstruction of their houses should present themselves for the prior consultation in order to be able to expose the facts and events in the parts where there had been a bad reconstruction.
This process will have a bi-monthly follow-up by the court in San Andres and quarterly by the Constitutional Court, and it is warned that the sentence will be extended until that they have been fully complied.
And as part of the National Reading and Writing Plan, the Leer es mi cuento program, which is translated Reading is my story, visits Old Providence to conduct a workshop with education personnel.
In order to encourage access to and promote enough reading, writing, and orality, the national program Reading is My Story is in Old Providence for several days.
And our activity where we look out for embrace the opportunity and show the picnic them, the big one them, everybody, how important it be if we read, and we have to know, say, read that don't just repeat, you know, read that more and repeat, read that understand. So that is what the activity where we're going to develop here in Providence.
The activities will be held for 3 days at the Casa de la Cultura.
Yeah, we got one reading contest, we got one workshop, how important read in all sense, because some people take reading that only like enough one subject with a language. Read that be all the subject them, because if you don't know how to read, you know and be one good student.
Activities are to take place from 3 to 5 p.m. today, tomorrow, and Friday.
This is all we have for tonight for the section of Old Providence and Catlina. Continue in San Andres with more Teleislas News. Good night.
Thank you, Milia. With news of the municipality, we reach to the end of this broadcast. We see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. with more news. Good night.